I'm Chris Kendall, Family and Consumer Sciences Extension Educator with Ohio State University and Tuscarawas County, and we're here for Kids in the Kitchen. With me today is my kiddo, Allison, and my other kid, Addie, is manning the camera. So we're going to get started with our first pizza recipe, and this is using Hawaiian rolls to make pizza sliders. So to get started, let's tell you about some of the ingredients that we have. So we're going to start off with a 12 pack of Hawaiian rolls. We're also going to have 1.5 cups of mozzarella cheese, which we've chosen to use like a very large sliced or shredded mozzarella cheese. We also have about 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. We have our pizza sauce. And so the pizza sauce, we're going to use about 1/2 cup of that. I always say till it looks right, so it may be 1/2 cup, it may be a little more or less, but that's what we're aiming for, is about 1/2 cup. We have our pizza seasoning that we had made in our previous video. And then we also have some pepperonis, and so we are using large cut sandwich pepperonis. Then we're going to also need 1/2 stick of butter, which is 1/4 cup of butter. So to get started, what are we going to do?
Wash our hands.
Yep, so we're going to head over to wash our hands. We'd like you to wash your hands too, and then we'll go ahead and get started making our pizza sliders. And now we're going to go ahead and get started making our pizza sliders. I'm going to take a little bit of cooking spray and just going to put a fine coating there in the bottom of our, it's a 7x11 pan. Set that aside here. And then I'm going to remove the rolls from the packaging and set them here on our cutting board. Have an adult assist you with cutting this. I'm going to use a serrated bread knife and gently cut across the rolls. And you do want to try and have nice, even cutting. I'm not sure how I did with that, but I'm going to, well, not too bad. I'm going to put the bottom part of the rolls here in my baking dish, and then I'm going to let Allie get to work. So what are you going to do next?
I am going to put on the pizza sauce.
Okay. Okay, and she's going to even that out nice and thin across the rolls. Now, if you like it saucy, you can add a little extra. We like ours maybe a little saucier than the recipe says, but so we're going to use a little more than that 1/2 cup, I believe, that it says to use. But you don't want it to be super saucy, because if it's super saucy, that's going to make those rolls really soggy. So that looks like pretty good coating there. Make sure you have all of it. Nice job there on the sauce, Allie. Okay, and next, what are you going to add? Put the cheese on next. Okay, and that is again 1.5 cups of cheese. If you really like cheese, you can add some more. You could add a whole package, which would be 2 cups. If you're not quite so into cheese, you could use a little less. You could also use different kinds of cheese if you would like, or you could put on slices of provolone or mozzarella if you'd like. Okay, we ready for those pepperonis?
Yep.
I'm gonna put those on there fairly even. While Allie's doing that, I'm going to switch her places, and I'm going to cut our butter so that we have 1/2 stick of butter here. Go ahead, and I'm going to put this into the microwave for about 25 seconds while Allie finishes up those pepperonis. So we have our butter all nice and melted there in the microwave, and I'm going to add to that a teaspoon of the pizza seasoning that we made earlier. There we go. And I'm going to stir that up. Allie, why don't you go ahead and put the top of those rolls onto our creation. And then I'm going to let you brush this over top. I'll set that down there. You grab it. Okay, so she's going to gently brush that seasoning and the butter onto those rolls. And then as she gets that done, I'm going to sprinkle it with a little bit of our Parmesan. Yep, pour it on there. do want to make sure you get a nice even coating, and then just go ahead and once you have it nicely and evenly coated, you can pour the rest on, and we'll use up all of that mixture. Once we have them all coated and we have our Parmesan added, we're going to put them into the oven. We have that oven preheated to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're going to put them into the oven for 15 minutes. Now, ovens tend to run a little bit differently, so I suggest that you put it in for about 12 minutes, and then if you need to add a little more time on your oven, you can. Okay, there we go. Get all those nice herbs on there, herbs and spices, and I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to sprinkle on our Parmesan. May not use all of the Parmesan. Okay, it looks pretty good. You want more on that one? Okay, there we go. I think that looks pretty good. We'll see you back here in about 15 minutes. Okay, here we are back with our pizza sliders, and you do want to watch that that temperature doesn't get away from you in the oven. And here we go. We're going to slice these up, and we're ready to enjoy. We hope that your family likes them as well.